Okay, well, yes, indeed. We do know that this axis, the Lagos-Ibadan axis, grappling with the gridlock while construction go on. Well, BAbajide Ogunsanwo joins us now. He's Channel TV's data and information analyst. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Good morning, guys.
Well, you also did go through that this morning. What did you see while you were there?
Yes, the gridlock is extremely horrible, especially on this Lagos-Ibadan expressway. But the gridlock didn't just start today. So it's always interesting to look at how did we get ourselves into this gridlock. One way to look at it is to look at where we were 5.5 decades ago. Then our road infrastructure network around the country was 65,000 kilometers. Today it's more than double that amount. But the challenge in the entire country. So today we have over 120,000 square kilometers of road network, double what it was at independence. The challenge is population has more than quadrupled. Now that's just one way to look at it. Now the second way to look at it is at the start of this new millennium, the total number of vehicles based on international estimates on Nigerian roads was 1.3 million. Today what is it? It is 7 times what it was just 16 years ago. So we have two challenges. The first is population has significantly grown, and the second is number of vehicles on the road has significantly grown. What is the solution to this problem? First thinking is let's increase the capacity of the road by increasing the number of lanes and also improving on maintenance of roads. Yes, maintenance of roads are good. Well, here's what the evidence based on several global studies show. Just like when you increase the capacity of your tummy, you tend to take on more food. So what studies show is that when countries increase the capacity of their roads, they get more cars to fill in those roads. So we need to realize that even though we have a transportation problem, a transportation solution might not necessarily get us out of this transportation problem.
But one key thing in all of this is because when we plan, because time and again when governments say they're building or developing one road infrastructure or the other, do you think that they do that with the number, the population? Do they even basically plan with figures so that all of that development captures the people that they're planning for?
I think they plan with figures, but I think most times the evidence shows they plan with thinking about it from the same perspective. And I'll explain a bit about this right now. Last year, the Commissioner of Health in Lagos then, Dr. Jide Idris, revealed something that several analysts called the greatest information about Lagos within the last decade. What was this? It wasn't about transportation, but it was something that had significant consequences on our road infrastructure and what would happen to traffic. Here's what he said. That his team had conducted a survey among commercial bus drivers in Lagos. And that survey showed that 80% of commercial bus drivers in Lagos were either on drugs or alcohol. Now let's connect all the dots. That is one fact. The second fact is we know that Lagos State has the biggest economy in the country as measured by GDP. Now that's the second fact. The third fact before we connect all these dots is that just yesterday the FRSC Court Marshal said road transportation was the most important means that leads people to their various destinations. Now, if you connect all of these things, here's what it means. It means the bus drivers in Lagos indeed are leaders, because they are the ones that take a lot of families to their destinations. And if these leaders, based on the survey from Lagos State, the largest economy in the country, say that majority are under the influence of drugs and alcohol, it only means that most of the leaders in Nigeria don't know where they are going to.
Most of the leaders in Nigeria.
No, but
because we shouldn't really look at some of the leaders instead of most. I'm trying to look at that report, because first that is on the drivers.
On the drivers, but it also depends on...
You now saying the drivers are also leaders. So what was it? Most of the leaders in Nigeria,
It could be misunderstood.
Driving leaders or driver leaders? Driver leaders?
Driver leaders. But again, we know that most families, again, based on available evidence, most families in Nigeria don't have private vehicles. So most people go around, which is most people are being led by commercial bus drivers. So commercial transportation is a primary way that leads people to their various destinations.
And if they live in the bottle, in the bottle or on the bottle, and also on drugs, by that report by Dr. Idris and his team, does this also translate to what we get to see sometimes on our roads, whether road rage or some kind of reckless driving?
Exactly. So it all connects. It also even connects to what the National Bureau of Statistics, in their last consumption report, clearly stated that families in Nigeria spend more money on alcohol and entertainment than they spend on education. So clearly, when there's road congestion, we need to connect all the dots, and we'll clearly see where the problems come from. So the problems, yes, do come from high road, high population growth. Yes, indeed, the problem also comes from high vehicles on the road, especially when we look at the exponential growth of vehicles. But indeed, alcohol plays a huge role in what happens on the road network in Lagos and indeed several other states. But what is even more important is to ask, where are all these people going to? Where are all of them going to? Now, there's several ways we could look at that. But one way is to look at even what the NBS says. So they say there are 79.8 million Nigerians in the labor force, on one hand. Now that looks like a lot of people. But within that same report, it says that 26 million of those in the labor force are either unemployed or underemployed. Now that's approximately a third of people in the labor force. So here's what it means. A lot of people, yes, indeed, are going to their offices, but a lot of people are on the road as well because they are looking for jobs. And indeed, a lot of people are on the roads trying to go to places where they will change jobs.